We are going to open up this stream by slandering Ubisoft. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For those unaware, recently Ubisoft said monetization, aka microtransactions, loot boxes, and just excessive business practices, gotcha games, they make the player experience more fun. Oh my lord, if I'm on the board.
Super chats are just a known form of
If I'm
that means for every donation
if I'm
gets,
yo, shout out to
I mean, gaze into Sonic's dreamy green eyes.
shout out to Bryce with the super chat. He said, yeah, we get off that. We get off that fucking that bullshit ass Jack Boys too. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Monetization systems apparently make the game fun. Not mechanics, not visuals, not story, not innovation, but monetization makes the player experience more fun, according to Ubisoft. And me personally, if I'm a stockholder for Ubisoft, if I'm on the board, I am fucking shaking in my boots right now, because as an investor, that's the last thing you want to fucking hear. Is your leadership say, when it comes to video games, the funnest thing about our games is buying shit in it. Let's read the article. Shout out to the Terriers with the sub. Because that says to me, after a buyout, that they still haven't learned their lesson. With Tencent investing almost $2 billion in them, that says that they still have not learned their lesson, and they need to focus on making quality products, and then the money will flow. Come on, guys, build it and then they will come. They still don't get it. Ubisoft recently published a 400-page universal registration document, an annual financial report that covers everything you should ever hope to learn about the company. One tidbit that's been taken away with the reckless...
Super chats are just a known form of glazing. That means for every donation TBH gets, I get the chance to glaze. I mean, gaze into Sonic's dreamy green eyes.
Shout out to Banky with the $20 super chat. He said, hit the goddamn like button, YouTube, and I'm gonna hit the button for that. Azrael in the chat says, fun equals fuck you niggas from you. Oh shit. One tidbit that's been taken away with the reckless abandon is a mention about the company's monetization model and impact it has on the player. You'll laugh when you hear that Ubisoft thinks about the games with microtransactions. I'm glad that they wrote you'll laugh. Like even journalists are like, you niggas is bugging. The golden rule. The supersized Ubisoft report covers every facet of the company's performance and development between 2024 and 2025. It's available for anyone with a keen eye for facts and figures to leaf through, if that's your kind of thing. One of the most glaring notes that crops out on the 10th page of the document pertains to Ubisoft's group business model and strategy. The page opens with a note that Ubisoft is a leader in the video game industry that stands out thanks to its unique production organization. Translation, they found a way to streamline their open world slop that they've created. If you wonder why every Ubisoft game feels the same over the last 5 to 10 years, it's because they've streamlined the process to creating these open world games with a million things on the map and no unique fun things to do. But hey, at least they can get them out annually. I think that's something related to nepotism, but I'm not an expert. As the page unravels, Ubisoft's representatives dip into the subject of monetization, which is where a little delusion might creep in. The adoption of monetization and engagement policies that respect the player experience and are sustainable in the long term. At Ubisoft, the golden rule in developing premium games is to allow players to enjoy the game in full without having to spend more. Our monetization offers within premium games makes the player's experience more fun by allowing them to personalize their avatars or progress more quickly. However, this is always optional. And then on page 135, another reference to monetization pops up where it says, the safety and well-being of our players is our top priority, and we do everything we can to protect their data, provide safe and enjoyable gaming environments, and guarantee responsible monetization mechanisms. And then slightly further down in the document, it says, through its code of conduct, the group is committed to adopting a fair and transparent approach to monetization in gaming, offering fun, engaging, and immersive gaming experiences while ensuring the safety and well-being of players. Ubisoft's monetization strategy aims to enrich players' gaming experiences by balancing two main pillars, optionality and fairness across all genres. And this is so scary because for those who are not following or those who just coming through to the stream, basically there's a 100+ page document that basically Ubisoft's higher ups pass to their investors, explaining to them their business model, their goals, and their ideology behind developing games. And in this document, They're telling their investors in the pamphlet, one of the reasons why we're one of the biggest gaming companies in the world and why you should invest in us is because we put monetization business models in our games that people think is fucking fun. And then what happens is it creates this vicious cycle. And this is why people hate y'all, Ubisoft, for those not following. Imagine being an investor, somebody with just a ton of money looking to, 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, well, 2x, 3x, 4x their money. And you want to front money to Ubisoft, hoping to get a kickback, but you don't know anything about games. You just know that games is the biggest form of media in the world. Now, ultimately, that's up on you because you need to be doing research before you're investing. So, I don't feel bad for you fuck niggas. But imagine being one of those people that just want to get a kickback from the money, and you have people who are supposed to be your eyes on the street, your feet on the street, telling you one of the reasons why gaming is the biggest media form in the world, bigger than movies, bigger than music, bigger than books, is because niggas love gotcha games. Now, like I said, part of it falls on the investor because it's up to you to understand what you're investing in. But I halfway feel bad for them because you're being told by leadership who's supposed to be an expert in this field, one of the main reasons why you in the chat and I play video games is because when we get off of that 9 to 5, sweating at the steel mill, lifting them heavy bricks at your construction job, reading all this paperwork at your financial job, dealing with all them badass kids at school as a teacher, whatever the fuck you do, when you come home from that 14-hour shift, what you cannot wait to do is get a loot box. They're telling their investors, when niggas used to get off of when they 9 to 5, they used to come home and smoke a cigarette, sit in the car for 2 hours with their head hanging low. No, niggas is not sitting in the fucking parking lot for 2 hours before coming in the house. No, they running in the house to buy some VC in fucking 2K. And to that I say, Ubisoft, this is why people fucking hate you. This is why I gotta start the consulting company. You people are crazy. You're out of the loop. And this is why I say, if 10 years from now, 5 years from now, we see an article come up that Ubisoft has collapsed, I'm not wishing it upon them because Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises. I'm not wishing failure upon them. But what I will say is if you continue this road, you continue this mindset, this is what adds value. I don't care if you said if it was optional or not. If you think this is the main thing that adds value to people, you've lost the plot. What I loved about Ubisoft was in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, when they had all those deep dive Illuminati fucking conspiracies within the video game that kind of were parallel and made you think what the fuck was going on in the real world. When Far Cry 3 came out and you went to the fucking lake and whatever that body of water was, I think it was a river, and you get attacked by the alligator for the first time. Far Cry Blood Dragon, the visuals, the cool story, the gameplay, that's what made you guys great. But since 2014, when y'all first started lying about Watch Dogs 1 and the visuals and all the deep gameplay was in it, it's been downhill slowly from there. You've had bangers here and there, but it's been a steep decline. You people have lost your fucking mind. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate to say this because I don't want to give Tencent any more power. They really don't need any more power. They're one of China's biggest conglomerates. But if I'm on the board of directors at Tencent, if I saw this statement, I might want to look at replacing leadership because you guys own a stake in the company and you need to be getting your money back. But what I will say, where I'm going to wrap this up, is they've lost the plot. I don't know if this is good in the long term. I think that the Gamont family has been running this company for so long. They think what worked 30, 40 years ago when they first started this company is what's going to work today. They need some fresh eyeballs, some fresh ideas around the company. And I mean, fresh ideas that they're willing to listen to. That's the only way that you can turn a company around. I'm gonna be honest, y'all probably need a black man.
Your super chat is deeply appreciated. This money will...
Because when things are in trouble...
I know I'm black, but I need a DNA test to reveal if I'm Taco Fall black or just Blake Griffin black.
When things are in trouble, often a black person, whether it's a black man or a black woman, comes along and saves it. Look at Marvel. Come on, guys. Shout out to Blade. Look at the United States. Come on. I have my issues with him. Barack Obama. Come on now, guys. Look at Red Lobster. Red Lobster was on the verge of bankruptcy. The CEO of Red Lobster said, I know what you niggas like. You niggas like lobster boils. Here's a lobster boil. I think Ubisoft, metaphorically speaking, needs a lobster boil. You guys need a new idea. And then not only do you need new ideas, you need to be receptive and understanding where people come from. If you want that vitriol, that hatred to stop for you guys, you need to start listening. That's just how business works, man. That is how business works. So hopefully they listen, but I doubt it. You said Sarah Bond. I love Sarah Bond, but I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Microsoft is setting her up. I'm hoping Sarah Bond gets Microsoft back on the right track, but you don't think it's kind of fishy that they're talking about Phil Spencer is thinking about stepping down from Microsoft when Xbox is on the decline with all these layoffs, and then they prop up the black woman as being the next leader in the company? You don't think that's a little fishy? I feel like that's a setup, which is unfortunate. But we love Sarah Bond over here too. Shout out to Sarah Bond. But he said Phil's stepping down. Nah, it was just a rumor that was circulating a couple weeks ago. Doesn't mean it's true. Other Ubisoft news I got for you. More Ubisoft doesn't listen. Ubisoft CEO thinks Star Wars Outlaws failed because the brand was less popular. That's right, Ubisoft. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ubisoft claims the reason Star Wars failed is because one of the biggest IPs in the world was not popular enough. Let's read along. During a recent shareholder meeting, Ubisoft CEO was asked several questions about the development and eventual release of Star Wars Outlaws. Yves Guillemot, who's the head of Ubisoft, the CEO, who I was talking about, they need fresh blood. It's no big secret that the game didn't perform as well as expected, and in September, Insider Gaming exclusively revealed that the title had sold just 1 million copies in a month on the market. Talking about the issues that plagued Outlaws, Guillemot made a suggestion about the Star Wars brand that hasn't set well with some fans. At a recent shareholder meeting, Mr. Guillemot fielded questions about Star Wars Outlaws and how it hadn't turned around the results expected on it. The sales targets weren't made clear, but whatever they were, Ubisoft fell short of hitting them. To explain the downfall of Star Wars Outlaw, the CEO first criticized the brand before talking about the game's technical performance. For Star Wars Outlaws, we didn't reach our sales target. The game suffered from a number of items. First, it suffered from the fact that it was released at the time when the brand that was belonged to, was in a bit of choppy waters. So basically, I think he's trying to blame the recent failure of the Star Wars, the new trilogy. You know, some people aren't responsible. Although people love Andor and people love season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian, you know, there's been other Star Wars projects people aren't fans of. Star Wars is a hit or miss these days, basically. He's blaming that. And the game has had a few items that still needed to be polished, and they were polished and debugged in the early weeks, but it didn't affect sales volumes. We did heavily improve the game by troubling and debugging, and when it was released upon upcoming consoles, such as the Switch, it will be a new version of the game. And I'm here to let the CEO of Ubisoft know that what's going on with the movies and the television show has nothing to do with the success, or rather lack of success with this video game. Oh yeah, the Acolyte got shit on. Star Wars is 50-50 these days. Shout out to Todoroki with the sub, appreciate it. I'm here to let you know the reason that this game failed, because I actually played it, I streamed it, so this is not me shit talking on the game. The reason this game failed is it was just another Ubisoft game. This is what I mean when I say they need new ideas. And don't tell me they're not capable of new ideas, because 30 developers left Ubisoft, went and formed a new studio, and just released a game called Expedition 33. Don't tell me it's not possible. You are suffocating the talent in the fucking building. I'd argue you probably have some geniuses down there, but you won't give them a chance because you think you fucking know everything. And I'm not gonna lie, you're not beating the allegations that some French people, the stereotype is they can be fucking arrogant and they don't listen. Because it sounds like your arrogance is going to be the demise of this company. As somebody who played this game is not as bad as some of the people on the internet were saying, but it's also not that good. It's pain. Yo, shout out to Godly with the sub. This game is painfully mid. And when I say mid, just for clarification, I'm not saying the Star Wars Outlaws is terrible. I'm saying this is a bargain bin $20 game at best. This is a $5 Steam game. Why? Because they didn't fucking innovate. It's a 6, a 7 on a good day. They didn't innovate. It is another open world Ubisoft game where there's just shit all over the fucking map. And the gameplay is not engaging. It's not innovative. It's not doing anything in particularly well, whether we're talking gameplay, gunplay, or like the stealth. I think the best thing about this game is probably the music, and that has nothing to do with the fucking game. It's because it's Star Wars. When people are saying the best thing about your game is the music, that's a fucking... Yeah, it's basically Far Cry, Assassin's Creed in space. It's just a generic third-person shooter. The main character's not particularly interesting. There were a couple cool missions in there. Like, I enjoyed the sections where you had to infiltrate the Empire's bases. That was pretty fun. But for every section like that, it was just a lot of riding around on your bike, exploring empty enemy camps. You're just riding around on a damn floating bike, looking for enemy camps and looting for treasure and shit. It's literally Assassin's Creed with a Star Wars coat of paint on it, without the interesting Illuminati conspiracies and the knife and all that shit, bro. This game was just terribly, it's uninspired. That's why it failed. And that's why a lot of your games are failing. Even the Avatar game, a lot of y'all probably forgot, they put out an Avatar game last year too. That was Far Cry in the Avatar universe. They could have just called that shit Far Cry Avatar Edition. It was the same fucking, you guys keep making the same game over and over and over. And I get it because you have the pressure of trying to appease your board of investors, but it's time to take a break. Maybe don't release nothing for like a year and just focus on making a good product. Because you guys, there's no way you haven't seen any of the memes. Elden Ring made by you, if it was made by Ubisoft and it was just shit all over the fucking screen. This is what people are saying about your games. Let's see, Elden Ring made by Ubisoft. This is what people are saying about your games. Elden Ring would be ass if it was made by Ubisoft. This is what the UI would look like. Just shit all over the fucking screen, bro. No immersion.
Dropping a super bag on a super nigga like me would be super appropriate for a time like this.
Yo, shout out to Nate Jones with the super chat. Appreciate you. He said Ubisoft leadership needs to be replaced badly, but unfortunately Ubisoft seems to have a crabs in a barrel mentality and they will sink it. It's pride. There's no way that Ubisoft CEO did not see this meme. This shit went viral in 2022. It was still going in 2023. At what point do you sit down and say, maybe there's some truth to these jokes? Because jokes are half truths. I don't remember the last time I seen a Ubisoft game where they announced it. I said, oh shit, they're pushing boundaries. This is different. This is really cool. Wow, how did you think of that gameplay mechanic? Who wrote this character? Who's voice acting? When's the last time like you really said that about a Ubisoft game? I feel like the last time for me was maybe at the announcement of Watch Dogs 1. Watch Dogs 2 was great. But like where I was really enamored with an announcement from Ubisoft. I wasn't even enamored with Origins, and Origins was a good game. I played it. It was a good game. But I'm talking about a game where they announced it and it just wowed you. And you were like, oh, this is a day one pre-order. I feel like since Watch Dogs 1, every Ubisoft game is like, I'll wait and see. Let me see some more trailers before I buy it. It's always a 50-50 for me. You guys need to get back to that point where you're fucking wowing people. You need to get back to the point where, because there was a time I'd argue you understood why Ubisoft had their own press conference at E3. E3 doesn't exist anymore, so Summer Games Fest now, for those unaware. Now, when Ubisoft does their own press conference for the Summer Games Fest, we're like, why the fuck do they have a press conference? Nigga, we don't care, bro. Go back to the drawing board. Make a new IP. Original ideas. That's what we want.